Good evening, Risen fans. I hope you're having a fantastic Monday so far, because things are about to get even better for your night here. The semifinals here with SDC going up against Redacted tonight. And as always, to take you through things, Spooky and none other than Dobby over there. Dobby, we've been having some discussions about these two teams
Mm.
and some discussions about some people's votes, which we'll get into later. But where were you thinking on this match right now?
Well, I'm thinking that no one is gonna love watching this game more than the people during our hosts because they get to see your dinosaur bedspread. But to the game,
Right.
I think a lot has to be said about the death cards, mostly because SDC now stands for So Dobby's Casting. Just because I have been with them from the start of the season all the way till now. I think all but for one game. So that's
Can't
pretty
believe you let him
big.
down for that one game.
Well, it's not my fault. Someone else was being streamed that day. Uh,
I'm gonna
but
blame you anyway.
that's fair. That's fair. You're just like my parents. Anyway, uh,
Wow.
but anyway, let's talk about those predictions.
Yeah, let's get right into them. Let's get them up on the screen, and you can see a lot of people feel as if, oh yes, look at that! Someone else got the redacted stick. Look at that!
Yeah,
Bonfire, the only one not
uh,
voting SBC.
which is weird because Death Cards, first place team, have been doing very well. Yes, they lost last week to the Travelers, but since the Travelers replaced their entire bot lane, they have been like the scariest force scene. With Crit and Foxtrot out of the picture, they are definitely the best team in the league. And they took them two.
Dang.
They took them 2-1.
We're just calling people out here.
It's not that Crit was bad. I just don't think he had a support that could handle the game or like how he played the game. And the team suffered for that. They got a fourth seed spot out of it, but since that upgrade, they did really well. And that's why we're here today. We're watching both of these teams for the elimination. Like whoever wins next week's, whoever wins in the winners bracket still gets to play again next week, even if they lose. So here we are watching the elimination match between Redacted and Travelers, and one of them will be going home. But yeah, it looks like overwhelmingly 2-0 for the side of Death Cards. And maybe Bonfire gets lucky, but even then, he's still not completely convinced. He still has one game going to Death Cards.
Easy. I like Bonfire's style here. He's going for the 3 game set, expecting it to go the long game. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised to see a 3 game set, right? As you mentioned, this is a fight for survival. Both teams are facing elimination here. You have to bring your A game 100%. Otherwise,
Hmm.
you're going home. There's no two ways about it. Now, and into the picks and the bans. This is where things start to brew up. This is where see where all the plans begin to formulate. And really, I'm not sure we're expecting too many crazy things. The Swain first ban does catch me a little off guard here, Dobby. Talk to me about that.
Well, they're just trying to get rid of what is comfort right now. Everyone's trying to play these weird, the meta stuff, but truthfully, like no one knows what's really strong except what is and what isn't. Caitlyn, a very good uh, blue one pick, but this also leaves up like right now, death cards can just lock in J4 Ori. Like the fact that 9 of these two champions were just banned, not one was prio picked. This is the best wombo combo in the game, the best early game. It scales very well, and it's guaranteed damage. And Caitlyn does have Caliber Net, but is not always going to get out of that.
Oh, we're not going to see at least one of those because Ash gets locked in instead. ADC support, what are you kind of thinking there for this Ash?
With the Ash, you can go two ways about it. I think Ash very well with a roaming support. Ash is normally really safe, but you need that damage, that CC lock potential, so that she can continue on it. But I'm not a big fan of the Oriana pick right here, um, because if you're not gonna just lock in that combo, and you're leaving the J4 up for taking, And then that means Redacted can just lock in the Syndra pick, I think Redacted right here should lock in J4 Syndra. Take away Oriana's playmaker, while Morgana is not a good bot lane.
Maybe Morgana Jungle comes back?
I think Redacted tried this last week and got mollywopped.
Hey, STC
And
is
there's
fresh
been
off a
no patch
loss.
changes since then. No hot fixes, no nothing.
There's been a mental shift, though.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's an Ari.
Not a
So,
fan of the Ari either. But
none of the champions. You've gotten
look,
one at
I like
least.
the
You've gotten
Caitlyn. The
one so
Caitlyn's
far
really
that you wanted
strong.
to see.
I like the Caitlyn. The Caitlyn looks really well, but if you're gonna pick Morgana, why not just go Lux? Like, go the champion that Caitlyn synergizes best with. Unless the Morgana is a jungle pick. But like Morgana trying to flex in these two spots that she's not good in. Really weird. I don't understand the karma. I guess you try to poke out the Morgana, if you will, but Karma is not a ban worthy champion. No one's gonna be like, hey, let's grab Karma or ban Karma. Why not just grab this jungler that you know that's gonna be banned out because it synergizes well, and then you just blind pick the Karma in R4 anyway. Because like I said, like there's no priority over this champion. So you have a safe pick no matter what. You're getting a better priority jungler, and no matter what, you're giving top lane the counter. So it's just it seems to be a little wacky.
Oh, still room for that J4 band to come through here. Sun Wukong taking
Yeah,
on
Wukong
board.
is the other champion that works well with Oriana, just because you can clone yourself in there and then use the Cyclone.
There they
But
are.
there it is, the Insta-lock Jarvan. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do now, especially with the Maokai. There's not a lot of other champions that actually synergize with Oriana unless you're trying to play Rengar and be super cheeky. But I'm curious to see what Lexus is going to be playing here on the death cards. Maybe Xin Zhao. I like Xin Zhao.
Zhao could make an appearance. Does have the dive potential. Can get into the back line where he needs to be. A little bit more difficult though. Nocturne could do it. Feels a little bit more difficult to pull off though. Very easy dive, but how often is Oriana going to be in position to put the sphere on the Nocturne before he goes in?
I really like the Nocturne, not for the synergy with Oriana, but because Caitlyn has such high range that the darkness is going to effectively make her useless the entire time that is being casted. Which is going to be fantastic. But like, if you think you're going to grab the Nocturne, why not just go Galio? Like, just go for the straight combination. Like, what's going to help death cards win is utilizing the champions and the compositions in a way that synergize with each other. Right now, they just picked Oriana because she's a really strong control mage. She'll scale very well. She'll do very well. But this means that top side is going to have to play a tank into Darius, which is a tank killer.
It's never much fun having to play into Darius in general. He's going to go for the set here. Does do a little bit of fighting. How do you feel about the brawl potential between Set and Darius? Both like to get active early. Both enjoy duking it out. Is this a jungle influence kind of thing?
It's going to have to be. I think Darius wins the early game just because like the bleed is going to be so influential. The only time that Sets actually is able to match it is when you're able to utilize the Haymaker instead of the face breaker. Set and Oriana does have the ability with that face breaker and shockwave in order to get into that backside into that back line, and it's not in such a large range that Nocturne would just run out of way of it. But I think it would do well for the side of death cards here, and they have a strong. Not a strong bot lane, but it will survive some of the poke and be able to answer. I think Karma's also good in a Morgana. You can just bait out the Black Shield. You can tether them, and then just like go ham on a Morgana because once she uses her combo, it's done. But Karma's cooldowns, if you're utilizing those, cycle very quickly. Will do a lot for them.
This feels like a very poke-oriented bot lane on both ends. Karma, Ashe. Love throwing those abilities. Caitlyn, I don't think anyone needs to be told that Caitlyn loves just clicking on people from half a mile away and deleting half their health bar. My mind, though, it does go to this mid lane a little bit because you talked about the Oriana and how it is a strong pick, but in this team composition, maybe doesn't slot in as well as we've seen in previous comps. This Ari, very mobile, likes to get active in the early game, likes to roam around. What kind of impact are we looking at in the mid laners?
Well, I mean, the Oriana is just looking to scale, survive. I watched an Oriana yesterday do nothing but build like supportive tanky items for themselves.
Ooh.
So yeah, no, like, Waitley Andres decided to go Banshee's Veil second, Seraph's Embrace third, and then had no damage for the last team fight. Yeah, she survived a long time, but did nothing. So I'm hoping Shredman here isn't baited into the oh I need to survive to do damage, even though you're not gonna do damage the longer you survive. Because what's really strong about Oriana is that burst potential from the Q R W. So just making sure that that combination works well, and it can catch out the Ari. Her Spirit Rush dash isn't actually longer than the Shockwave's ability. So if she decides to zig and zag and not actually go up, down, left, right, she could actually get caught out very quickly. But you're right, she has that mobility. The rest of Redacted wants to go into that dive, get into that backside, but except for that Caitlyn, you just leave Ooga Booga alone, he's gonna get booged himself. And it's not gonna look pretty back there, especially since there's a lot of counter engage, re-engage potential from the death cards.
Say best defense is a good offense. Hopefully, we've seen some of that from Shredman here. Eh, what is the break point though? Like, obviously, Shredman needs to be able to survive and scale up.
Mhm.
Where is the point that they're looking to really start playing around this Oriana? Is it
It
level 6 when Lexus gets the ultimate online and they can just
yes.
jump on someone?
I think it needs to be 6. Lexus should be prioritizing top side so that Starry can crash the wave and they can 3-man mid because they're going to have to CC lock very well in order to keep Luminous down. Just because there's so much escape potential from the side of that champion between the Flash and the Spirit Rush. And if you Charm, you can completely negate a play anyway. But anything to do that, I think Shredman's power comes out here. He's going to have to build Leandries. I absolutely believe he's going to have to go like Void Staff second or anything
Yeah.
to break through this front line because uh like like if he doesn't, there's just gonna be no killing the Zac, no killing the Darius. Like Oriana is the true AP threat in here. Karma's not gonna be doing anything, and this actually does give some cause for concern, because Zac can now just build like if he truly wanted to in Athemas, and then stack up nothing but armor and just be a terror, to the side of death cards. Whereas they don't have that option. They can't just build the Athemas on set or put it on Ari. That's just not plausible because Morgana is going to be a lot more AP damage oriented than that Karma, which is a lot more supportive oriented.
Is that efficient? How efficient is that for Mr. America to just grab anything as chains and say armor time?
I extremely efficient. I and able to do what 40% reduced damage off a Shredman. You're just the one person constantly in the face of that of all those auto attack champions, and then you can just straight up go for it. But let's just talk about the runes real quick in this top side matchup. We see Lethal Temple Darius. Uh, I don't know what he's trying to do, but I think he forgot to change his runes, and that's gonna look like it's gonna bite him in the buttocks. I don't.
His tempo is lethal. It's
Maybe he wants
lethal.
to get more damage, but an attack. I don't know. Maybe his extra 50 attacks range will do well, but set looking to brawl, looking to stand there, looking to heal, and then grabbing that second wind instead of that bone plating. So looking to constantly work with that passive and keeping him up as long as possible.
This is certainly an interesting choice from Asadero here.
Yeah.
Hopefully doesn't go too poorly for him. Might be some hidden tech we haven't seen before, but moving on. junglers come up here. Obviously, seeing some tank runes coming out from the Zac.
Yeah.
Nocturne also going for that lethal tempo. So you can see this a popular rune still looking to
Yeah.
get those trades going.
It makes a lot more sense on the Nocturne because he's trying to auto attack more to get the heal. He needs that excess range so that when he puts the fear onto his opponent, he can still get those autos off because the fear is longer than his auto attack range. And he's going Ravenous Hunter, so he's looking at constantly popping off his ultimate and trying to get into that backline. And I think this works very well for him in this matchup. But Zac is just going to be that beefy, annoying frontliner, and he's going to cause a ruckus.
Hopefully not too much of a ruckus because we still got a ways to go through things. I'm interested to see how well this Zac gets dealt with by the bot lane. I feel like that's going to be the big problem point for just STC as a whole. But
Yeah.
moving on to
But
these mid laners, you were talking about this Orianna being an AP threat specifically, going the phase rush. So
yeah,
able to stick on targets, but against the electrocute from Ari, they're both trying to kind of do that same thing: hit 3 times, get their burst damage or their boosted move speed. Who are you favoring there, and how does that translate against the junglers?
Oh, I'm favoring Orianna here. The longer this game goes, the more useful that Gathering Storm is, and it is a scaling pick. So, being able to utilize the phase.
I believe you, whatever you might be saying right now. I I fully do believe you.
PC data's a thing.
Ah, there we are.
Oh my
There it is. I'm
God.
sure you had a
You
great point there,
Discord!
and I do think you were just making some absolute banger points.
Where'd you
I mean,
leave
you
me
were
off
right on the
at?
money.
Yeah, I was. Look, Orianna, Gathering Storm, awesome. Has Metaflow band, will do good. Ari can't do that early game. Early game, Orianna favored. Next.
There's the breakdown of the mid laner runes. It really
Yeah.
is just that simple. We'll see what see when exactly we get the next set of runes here. In just a moment. Like
Yeah.
you have there they are, the ADCs. That's what we're looking for. Lethal tempo on Ashe, fleet footwork on Caitlyn. Not too surprising there. I am not convinced that lethal tempo is enough to to match the range from Caitlyn here.
I think Melissa Temple does put her at the range, but she doesn't have the trade potential for the Caitlyn. And Caitlyn grabbing that Gathering Storm looks like she's trying to be that late game answer to the Orianna.
Do they need a late game answer to the Orianna? It feels like Zac just face tanking everything is already a late game answer.
That's fair. We'll see.
Have to see.
We
We
shall
got one more set of runes to go through. That is the supports, Karma and Morgana.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are pretty standard. Yeah, that's nothing surprising there.
Yeah, no, the fact that she's going Scorch just means she's going to heal, do a little bit more overall damage, but I don't really think it's going to affect Somar, especially since that Scorch is actually just going to proc Set's second wind. So if the game goes on, like Set's just going to heal through Morgana W's. It's probably a little problem.
We'll see how little of a problem it is or how big of a problem it is. We're going to get you all into the game. Hold on 1 second. We'll be right back. did tell you we would be right back, and so here we are back again. Tell your friends, still Spooky and Dobby. Get right into the game here. Dobby already. Small collision course. Both sides here. Slow comes through from Pierce Blade. That's going to dissuade too much aggression down bot side. But up here on the top, Lexus has run into a Darius. Has the flash burned out, pulled back Zasadero. But it is still Redacted coming out the winners of that one, burning the flash off Lexus.
Yeah, Lexus flash down is going to be a pretty big deal for them. It's going to be hard because that also will give America the opportunity to go in and invade that jungle.
That's Mr. America to you, sir.
Dr. Mr. America to
Yes,
you.
sir. I'm glad you went there.
But yeah, that flash is going to be a lot of problems, especially if he's going to want to make an early play. I think that kind of limits what he wants to do, except to power farm and get the 6. So we'll see Mr. Dr. America make a little bit more proactive plays around the map, just because not only does he have that flash, he also has that cell division passive, which could be a bother to his team. Or to the opponent team.
Of Mr. America, opts not to have a red pot here. So really just relying on the passive to keep him sustained through his jungle clear. Is that going to put him behind it all? Does it put him slightly ahead since he's saving 50 gold? Like, what's the thought process?
I think it's just going to save him the gold and let him back a little earlier. He doesn't need it because of the blobs that are coming out. He's just going to be able to heal a lot. He's going to be spamming him anyway, especially on these group Gromp monsters. So like against Gromp Wolves, he's just going to be able to do a lot of damage. It's going to be really rough for anyone to do anything.
Here in the top lane, C-Star is being pressured in just a little bit. Not able to hit level 2 or 3 quite as quickly as Asadero. I think that's kind of what you expected to see happen there as well. You kind of called it. Darius should have the early game advantage. How much does he need to push that, though? Like, how much of a lead does he need to get before it's just kind of negated completely?
I think feels like he's gonna have a pretty good lead. I don't know about how soon that's gonna go away, but he knows that he'll win the 2v2 with his lead. Zach is pathing top, and there is no flash on Lexus. So he has the safety to go for it.
And Zeranos just has to stand still for the next 1,000 years. Got hit by one Morgana Q. That's so unlucky. That's pretty much the entire CC score for the rest of the game right there.
Yeah.
God, I hate watching Morgana, man.
Yeah, but the Morgana is just known as like a weird counterpick in the Ashe, and it does have some synergy with the Caitlyn. I just don't think it is extremely useful. Like, Caitlyn wants to farm and do good things, but you're getting pushed in by an Ashe, which has less range than you and less kill potential than you do as a Morgana Caitlyn lane. The Morgana Caitlyn is utilized to snare, lay down trap, do damage, and they haven't been able to execute that yet. They picked Morgana because Ashe R.
Yeah, that is fair. Botland currently kind of at a stall here.
They could have picked any other champion and just went Mikhail's.
No, I hate spending gold on support items. My team doesn't deserve that.
Well, I don't see if you're a support player.
I'm not.
Obviously, that does show, but it looks like we're gonna get a spicy 2v2 in the top. Lexus without the flash, but
both junglers may go their separate ways. Lexus wasn't spotted. He went a long way through the enclave there. For his trouble, he loses his Raptors. Mr. America did get that invade off.
And they are going to have some problems. Like, there's such deep vision early in this game that they know exactly where Lexus is.
And they've got things lit up right now. Not super deep in the jungle. Right? It's not in the bot side and the top side, but it's being tracked along that top end. And you can see Nocturne passing right through into his bottom side jungle and cue the recalls from Redacted. They're just going to back up, spend what gold they have, come back to lane. There's really not feeling like many opportunities for Lexus. The Flash does come back up now, but where does he even look for it?
Yeah, he has to wait till 6, and I think he's gonna try and force a top lane play, just because it's the only one underneath tower. Unless they just let the Caitlyn push in, which I think is their best bet. Because if they just go top and feed the Darius some more, just weak side the set, focus other places, do good things there, and just let come online later. You're not grabbing set to be the carry. You're grabbing set to take Darius or Zach out of your backline.
Right. Oh, yeah, I see a small dragon potentially started up here. He is in the area. This bot side pressure, they are keeping Caitlyn and Morgana away from that river. This might just be the first free dragon for SDC.
Yeah, it's a shame it's the Cloud Dragon, because they're probably wanting anything a little bit more oomph behind it.
You gotta get the bad ones out of the way to get the good ones, right?
Yeah, but the last thing you want is to like grab the bad ones and let the opponent get the good ones.
That just can't happen. Nah, sorry. Small fight here. Zach coming in, forces the flash out, but he connects. Big ultimate comes through. Nasadero does find the first blood. The Noxian guillotine. Big chunk of damage there.
Yeah, Starry misplayed. Like, I understand you want to maximize your damage with the Haymaker, but that is your noxious guillotine counter. If you don't have that, you can't continue to go for these things.
He's gonna come right on back in. The Haymaker comes through, and Nocturne is here, but he gets pushed away. The fear doesn't go off. Shredman makes the rotation. Cell Division comes through. This should be a very dead Zac, and they do pick up the return kill. Shredman gets credit for that one. 1-1 now. Still, slight gold lead for Redacted after first blood bounty.
Yeah, but it's good that they gave it to the Orianna, just to get her online better. She's going to be the answer to this tank line. And, oh my goodness, we are unable to. Oh.
Oh, no!
The fadeaway
you can't
volley.
be walking into those.
She caught that with her teeth.
Hey, the whole face really caught that one.
Yeah.
Left nothing behind.
The death cards feel completely safe doing this because Shumi is just throwing out these Qs constantly, right? So the more times you use these dark bindings over and over again, you're not landing anything. You're giving them a lot of confidence so that they can continue to push. And sometimes the best binding is the one you don't send out because it's just the fear of it, kind of like the Blitzcrank pull.
Yeah, it's the threat of it being there is sometimes more potent than it actually landing on someone, right?
Yeah,
it's the potential to zone them out. And right now, it's like you said, Zeranos and Pierceblade don't really feel like they're being zoned whatsoever. Once they see that Dark Binding come through, if it doesn't connect, they could pretty much play as aggressively as they want.
Yeah, and then, but we're seeing this dragon come up on the bot side, the Prio in mid, Lexus getting this ultimate. They're going to look to try and get the second dragon, and they're probably going to make a play around bot side to do so, just because they, like, Zeranos is 6 now, Pierceblade is 6, they have all these summoners, and they're ahead in this lane, and they feel comfortable abusing Ooga Booga.
And the next dragon as well, it's going to be that Infernal. Put a little bit more damage on the board for whoever does get that. And it feels really important for the death cards to actually get a hold of that dragon.
Oh my god, Morgana's not there bot side.
Oh, well, it's on her way, but it might be too late. That's a dive in, and Zeranos gets the kill. Pierceblade taking up that tower. There's one more go the way of the death cards. 3-1 now. Maybe they don't need the Infernal Drake for their damage.
Yeah, Shumi just leaving Caitlyn alone bot side.
Hey, so Caitlyn, she got range. She can stay safe, right?
Yeah, versus
right?
all the CC, and again, just with these Qs, like you're not doing anything with them. You're not layering the CC. You're not helping out your laner. So you got to be very careful about how this goes. And if your death cards, like they're really good. They got that counterplay top. They got the Rift Herald for it. I mean, Redacted got the Rift Herald for it. So like it was a good counterplay. So they're going to be able to get a plate or two. Probably top side just because you want to keep that Darius's head. There's already this significant gold lead top side, and you want to make sure that you're keeping it up. And you want to free the Darius to roam outside of the map.
Outside of the map, he's
Well,
gonna
not yeah.
become
Well, I mean
Kane.
like just in
He's gonna
general,
turn.
like
He's gonna turn into Kane this match. Start walking
yeah.
through walls. I would hate that. Can you imagine if Darius could actually just walk through walls? I would
Uh,
uninstall this game in a heartbeat.
we need to stop giving Riot ideas for champion reworks.
That is fair. That's entirely fair. We'll move on to
They
something
killed my
else.
Aatrox and gave me Boris.
You know what? I feel you on that. I loved old Aatrox, and I do not love what we have now. I can tell you that.
Yeah, like old Aatrox was perfectly fine. I like this kit. If you wanted a new champion, like all they did was just make a new champion with that skin. They're like, our artwork department makes no money. We're not going to give them more. So let's just take this and make it something else.
Rip old Galio while we're at it, you know.
Okay, old Galio was just so bad.
And they still didn't make the same champion. Hey, look, a dragon. We can talk about this. This is something happening in the game. And it doesn't look like it's being contested at all either. So maybe nothing is happening in the game's death cards. Just walk away with a second dragon for free. Gold Lead isn't massive yet, but they're starting to build momentum.
Yeah, and right, it's a little bit slower right now. It's the first game of the series. Loser is out of the tournament, and they're just trying to play safe, make good macro plays, and not try to overforce. Well, at least 4/5 of Redacted is, and the rest of death cards. But we'll see how well that translates. Like they still have that Rift Herald in their pocket. I think it's got like a quarter of its health left, so they got to be utilizing it here shortly. Hopefully making a good play with it. Like I said, like they should really pop it in the next minute because get the plates, get some gold. Like you're not gonna get a tower out of it, but maybe you get the turret low enough for you to feel comfortable in taking it later on down the line. Maybe I'm like just like push it top. Just give Darius the gold.
Just get something, right?
Just give Darius the gold, move it around, and then trade the top side for the third dragon, and then just constantly do what you need to do afterwards. I don't know.
I want to talk about this Darius a little bit because we kind of touched on him at the beginning, and he's been quietly, winning his lane, doing his thing. He's got a fairly significant CS lead. He's about 40 CS up on Starry right now.
Yeah, but we're getting to the.
Yeah, we haven't seen too much. Might have to hold that thought. America coming in. Flash is the leap, and Lexus just comes on in, does a ton of damage. The Let's Bounce comes through, disrupting a lot. He's looking to keep this one going, and he puts down Pierce Blade. The Luminous Spirit rushes in, does find Zeranos. They find the shutdown, the ace in the hole. Puts Zeranos down. And the
really good TP play
finally comes back into this one.
Yeah. Really good TP play from them. Able to turn what would have been an even play into a positive play. I don't think that America ever got the Rift Herald charge off.
No, I do not believe so. Everything is still standing. There's the Singularity Haymaker, takes Asadero into his own tower. Might not be enough. He does flash, and it's just enough damage to put Asadero down. I didn't even know you could flash like that.
Yeah, really good play from Starry, and Shredded Man able to juggle that tower aggro, so he was able to get out of there for free. Now, I think that now they are able to create this answer, the set's going to start popping off a little bit more now that he's caught up. Not necessarily in a lot of gold, but he's no longer at the large deficit. that he was, and now he's starting to get some of that experience deficit back, and uh, he's also got both his summoners, so he's able to move around the map a little bit more. But we'll see if that translates well for the team. But I think it's starting to go where the Darius isn't going to be as tricky anymore.
Yeah, and that could
Especially,
be incredibly detrimental to Redacted, right? Because right now, this game is very even in the gold department, but it's really because Osadero has like 1,000 gold over Starry, whereas everyone else on the death cards has some smaller leads, but they're still there.
hmm
And the less impactful the series can be, the bigger this gap is going to become, and the less that 1,000 gold difference is actually going to matter. So now, what is the game plan for Redacted? They know that there's some answers to this Darius. They know they've had some success in the bot lane with the gank. Do they try to repeat that performance, or do they try to shift their attention elsewhere?
well, they've got some success in the bot side. Like, as bad as the Caitlyn was doing, they're able to push it. He's just sitting there safely, not really going for anything. So hiding in that bush, probably getting the first turret. And they did see Lexus and Shredman topside uh, clearing out vision. So maybe this gives them the opportunity to go uh, set up for that dragon.
Now, gotta be careful. Death cards is en route, but Mr. America is on a ward here, taking it out. Showing the area as well. Death cards seem to be simply recalling for right now. The
Yeah,
Hex
it looks
Drake
like they're
does
giving
spawn
this one
in.
for free. With the Ori and Karma resets, the Prio in the mid and bot lane, it looks like they're giving this dragon away for free. Maybe they can do something afterwards. After they get hit, the Hex Tech is going to do a pretty good amount of damage to them just through its like static shift stacks.
Oh, wow, started up here, but Death cards, as you said, taking their time getting in there. Shredman, Pierce Blade, and Serranos all here. Lexus on the way. Charm does connect onto Pierce Blade, gets pulled in. Turn off the lights. Stun connects. But it's not going to be anyone going in. It is just a secured dragon by Redacted. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, Starry turns the 1v1 around onto Osadero. The shield comes through at a clutch moment and then negates the Noxian Guillotine. Just like you said, Dobby. That's the counter. Doesn't feel worth it.
Yeah, they got the dragon. They traded one dragon for the Rift Herald, which is effectively, after the plates being down, is another turret. Uh, with Osadero being dead, no answer going top. He could potentially push for another one, or he's just going to like wait until there's a nice sideline opportunity in order to utilize it again, since he's still got a long way for that to spawn. So he's got gold to spend. He's got the gold. He's actually caught up in gold completely with that kill, even being
Yeah.
30 CS behind.
And that is wild. Now that's going to be the first lead that we've seen in the game so far. Not a big one, but death cards do push it over that 1,000 mark finally. We'll have to see how much of an impact that's going to have, but these mythics are coming online when things are starting to get a little bit more dicey in the team fights. Still anyone's game. Feels like Redactor are going to have to be a little bit more wary around these objectives, play a little bit more cautiously. It feels like leaving Osadero by himself in the top lane maybe isn't the play anymore. Do you think they just rotate him down? Or is that split push just the most effective use of the Darius right now?
It has to be the split push. I don't think they should have ever left him alone. He was their win con. Like, may not have been in draft phase, but as soon as Ooga Booga died the first time, they should have been like, okay, well, we're just gonna play through top. And they tried to do that for like 30 seconds and then stopped. And it's cost them
30-second
so far.
and stop routine.
Yeah. And like,
It's my favorite one.
and then Shumi again, just throwing out the Qs, getting those bindings off, not really doing anything with them. There's no objective to fight over right now. Just constantly throwing them out. Like,
Gotta
It's
make sure they
called
don't forget
CC
about him.
layering for a reason. You gotta stack CC. You can't just let me throw out one CC and the entire team react and hopefully land something else. Alright. As
Here's
a
the big
support
question,
player,
though.
it makes me a little upsetty.
Is it on Show Me, or is it on the follow-up CC for not putting it down?
Shumi's by himself way up there most of the time.
Well, not for long, because here comes Lexus. Spell Shield to jump in from America, but the damage is so much better coming out from Redacted. The tank is so strong. Shredman coming in. The Singularity does pull one, but it's the tank himself. Mr. America is walking through the death cards to his death, but he pulls them away from the rest of his team. Shredman gets that one. Hang on, Starry!
Where the hell did he come from?
Where did he come from? He just showed up, picked someone up, threw him into a grave, and walked away.
Yeah, I wish I could see that again, see where he came from, because I guarantee you he made that bot lane screech like a girl seeing the boogeyman for the first time, because he just came out
I
of
almost
nowhere.
screamed.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that is really, really good. Able to make that a super net positive. I think they lost the turret due to just due to Alcidero split pushing there, but I don't know how worth that is, right? Oh well, they got 2 turrets. That's good. They got 2 good turrets. Open up the map.
But what is the cost? You're just gonna lose Ooga Booga for that one. Lexus came in and said Ooga Booga himself. Teleport coming in, spell immune, good shield from Show Me there.
Shredman missed the ultimate, unable to stop it.
Man.
But I mean, Show Me did get 1 black shield off, stop that enchanted crystal arrow from going in. Really good play there. I think it was more so just to stop the damage, not because the ultimate was coming in, because it was already on Mr. America.
We'll call it prediction.
Okay, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Good prediction. Able to stop that play from being really bad, but
Speaking of really bad things, that is a CC chain if I've ever seen one. Fear, pull, flash, just to pull them in and try to slow.
see
Lex is
death
gonna get
card,
the kill for that
see
one.
redacted bot lane. That's how you do it.
That
Take
wasn't even-
notes. Going into game 2, layer your CC appropriately. Don't just spam it out, right? Because they were able to do that, get Alcidero caught off into the side lane. They're able to get Soul Point right now. And the fact that it's a Hexex Dragon, this is going to go very beautifully.
Oh no, if Paranoia's up as well, that's just another kill. Shredman picks that one up. It doesn't feel like Paranoia needed to be used there.
This
Maybe
looks
Lexus
like
was just a
great
little
Baron
paranoid that
angle.
the kill would be dropped.
That looked like a good Baron angle. Osadero doesn't have TP, couldn't stop it. Ooga Booga dead forever, and there's really no other AP damage coming out. Like Illuminous went for the standard Everfrost build. So just like stacking and trying to get good damage off the return of her Q. But it was good enough to push them off, so they're not getting that Baron. Good job.
Mr. America just feels so difficult to deal with. Feels like every time he's up, he can just walk into the death cards and cause some kind of problem. Now, Redacted's not really winning off of it, but it is stopping the death cards from making big plays a lot of the time, it seems. How effective is that going to be going forward, though? Because you can take a look at Serrano's build. He's got the recurve bow online, has Triforce now. You can expect we're going to see some more tank shred coming out here. How long can Mr. America do this?
Well, I think he's gonna do it very well with that Radiant Virtue. I mean, the Black Cleaver is gonna be the worst thing for him, but he's gonna be a really effective frontliner, and just cause a ruckus for their team.
So many ruckuses.
Yeah, it's just gonna be. It's my word of the day. It's my word of the day. Ruckus, ruckus, and then tomorrow it'll be Hokum.
Hokum, I don't like that one. Are
Hokum?
multiple instances of a ruckus ruckuses or rucki?
It's a Ruxin.
A Ruxin. Right? I'm sorry.
Ruxin. Yeah.
I was
Many in the
ignorant.
woods and the oxen is it. Thank you, the English language.
Thank you, Mr. America. Comes flying over a wall. Not going to find too much there. Starry, though, looking to engage, gets rooted down, but Paranoia is used, and that arrow is not going to get shielded, and show me pays the ultimate price for that one. Could be the Baron pull that the death cards are looking for. They go right over to it. Asadero still in bot lane, only 3 up here to answer.
Yeah, they feel really confident with this. They're probably going to trade a tower for the Baron. And if your death cards, that's something you want to do, just because the Baron is worth some towers anyway. And then just being able to push them off here. If they're able to translate this into another kill, it could put them in potential.
Mr. America gets caught during his jump. The Haymaker leaves no room for him to go anywhere. Shedman finds another kill. Starry taking a lot of damage. Meanwhile, up in the bot lane, Asadero takes 2 towers down, exposes an inhibitor. It's not going to get much more for his troubles there. Baron and a kill go the way, but Starry might still fall. He's in the hole. Doesn't do it. The shield comes through. That is tragic for Redacted.
Yeah, really good awareness for Starry there. Able to get that off and do good things. That small damage actually procced his second wind, which we talked about in Champ Select, like going over runes, that how that could be the difference between dying and staying alive. And it works out. It does very well. But we see that the Redacted side is able to get up some good vision around this dragon. So even with a Baron push, it looks like they might contest. They're probably feeling themselves a little bit, hitting their 2 item spikes. And this might be the opportunity for them to take, because Orianna, without that Rabadon's going into a major team fight, could make or break how the way this goes.
Wait and see. They do still have a rather significant gold lead over Redacted right now. Still, Illuminous has gone for the Everfrost and the Shadow Flame. Doesn't have a ton of AP damage over there themselves. Redman has been putting out quite a bit of work in these fights. Jump in from Mr. America, forces a flash, pulls 2, turn the lights off, but it's 2 down. Illuminous finds a double kill, and now the death cards are on the retreat. Shredman sidesteps one of the pulls, but it's another shutdown. Starry, though, with Lexus, is putting out some work. And still not able to turn this one around completely. The binding comes through. The caliber net. Starry has nowhere to go. Can you shield this one? He can. But for how long? This is a dead man walking. But he finds one more kill. Makes it a 3 for Ace. Could be a lot better, but it could have been a lot worse for the death cards.
Yeah, but this puts them in potential for getting this the second dragon here, keeping that soul away from the side of the death card. So really good overall play. The fact that Mr. America was able to get onto that bot lane effectively immediately, and Illuminous, the immediate follow-up. This is exactly what we were talking about. They wanted to dive, and just walking in into those bushes face first with no vision and without your front line not only cost them their dragon soul, it potentially costs them their game, because now the objective bounties are gone. That means their gold has caught up, right? So now they're putting in a precarious situation where I feel like the game's going to slow down a lot. They don't know what they need to do because there's no major objective coming up for the next 3 minutes.
Well, with no major objective coming up, surely they can just ease back a little bit, farm up. Rabadon's Death Cap is available now for Shredman. It's in the build. Or is this now the time for the death cards to pressure Redacted a little bit harder here? Look for some invades, try to take away some of that farm. They do still have XP advantages. It's just a matter of how do they utilize them.
Yeah, I mean, Orianna now at her 3 item spike, this could potentially be the time you want to do it, but Ari also hit that that Zonia, so she does have that living potential. Most of what you have to do at this point with the Ash Arrow and the Nocturne ultimate, like, you need to you need to go in for these side lane picks and try to go for something here.
Gonna look for Asadero. Starry starts that one off. The ghost gets popped from Asadero. Pierce Blade, not interested. He's gonna go ahead and run away himself Really, we just have a lot of running. A ghost for a battle song. One of those cooldowns a little bit shorter than the other, though.
Yeah, true, but the ghost is on a normally short cooldown anyway, so I don't think he's too worried about that in itself. He is going to be able to just like survive a little bit longer as well. Not like they're both running Hullbreaker in the bot side. They're just going to try and fight each other constantly, and there's not really much to go for it. Like battle song already up, like it's already
Unique and
almost up.
interactive item right there.
I
Love Hullbreaker.
Hullbreaker is so much fun, so much fun. I'll be honest, I'm glad it's nerfed, but it's still extremely strong.
We could just remove it and I won't complain.
Also, yes, that is a potential that I could go for.
Boy, Alexis, a flash away. Redman getting engaged on. Paranoia comes through. He's actually going in on the backline just to cause some disruption. The Crystal Arrow comes through, and Alexis, in a very bad spot, cannot survive and finally gets cut down. It took him a while. Now, low health bars. Mr. America burning, running away. That's a recall. This really doesn't feel like it's done much for death cards.
There are not many times I've seen a Nocturne with Lee Syndrome before, but that is definitely one of them. That is a pretty gross misplay, causing him his death. You gotta hope it doesn't bite you in the back end either, because now your flash is down, going into the Baron being up.
And look who's here. Redacted. On their way up to it. Asadero, only one who's not present. And is that any surprise? He's got Hullbreaker. He's going to be doing his own thing for a moment. But even still, covering that mid lane. Ready to rotate if needed.
But it is a good 4v5.
Back. The base. Way in. Teleport coming through. Starry looking to cause some havoc. Takes one through into the arrow, but the black shield comes in. Stops him the follow-up damage. And there it is once again. The Lee Syndrome. Lex is in the middle of all five. And he just gets cut down. Asadero puts the guillotine through Pierce Blade's head. The neck is severed. The spine drops. And now the Baron once again looked at with his health bars a little bit low. Mr. America under half health. Be careful here. Root comes through onto Starry. And the flash forward puts Ooga Booga in the dirt. Might find another one, but the charm is good enough to slow him down, but not enough to stop Zeranos. The Ash finds the damage, and now this could be the saved game. Starry makes a play, and it pays off big time. Looking for the rundown. Zeranos finds one more kill. No, Shredman getting the credit for that one.
Starry's
still up.
Saved the death cards right there.
Massive plays.
That's the play of the game. That's the play of the game right there. Absolutely amazing. This is going to secure Dragon Soul for them as well. The fact that they're able to win a 3v5 off the back of Starry, definitely going to let them. I'm going to say it right now. Death cards wins game one. It's really good. Really good right there. And we'll see what happens as the rest of this game goes on. But able to get that Dragon Soul, so annoying, works super well with Ash. And because you have a Pokey or team comp, you're just going to completely do a lot more damage. So let's see how well they're able to like position around the Baron as this play objective is still up.
Still, all eyes can be towards that Baron. No one's... Well, I say no one's made a play for it yet, but really no one's returned to make a play for it again just yet. Death cards likely to be the first ones there. Lexus already in the area. See Starry trying to get some pressure up in that top lane as well. They want these waves pushing forward. I say that, but instead it's Lexus going all the way forward. Crystal Arrow does connect, but...
And they're able to burn Ooga Booga's cleanse. That's really big. Just because... Zeranos is already 3/4 of the way back up.
That's insane. Sorry though, I'm getting caught here. Team is on the way. Wow, that's a lot of damage though being put out. Starry still somehow alive. Not for long. Shut down by Mr. America. The stars and stripes. With some stars around Starry's head. Binding comes through. Meanwhile, Asadero in the bot lane is just being a split-pushing little goblin down here.
Yeah, thank you, Starry, for making me bite my own words. I appreciate that. I think I caster cursed him. This is looking pretty rough, but if Shredman's still here with that shockwave, is gonna be able to like zone them off, especially with that that Hextech passive.
Crystal Arrow flies through, doesn't quite connect. Lexus looking for something, wants to make a play. Paranoia comes through, is straight down onto Mr. America. That's going to be enough to take him down. Ooga Booga through the wall with a 90 caliber net. Zeranos left to defend against Asadero while the rest of his team looks to make a Baron play up here. It's a tough one. You can feel the tension here, Dub. You can feel neither of these teams are ready to go home just yet. Asadero just putting so much pressure across this map.
He's doing everything he can to make sure.
Flash in, Soul Shackles come through, the Zanyas comes out as well, it's enough, but Zeranos from downtown finds the Crystal Arrow, puts one down, gets put down himself, the guillotine, spares no victims. Asadero walks out of the ultimate. Oh, the shockwave finds no value.
Yeah. Really sad to see that it was getting no value because, like, that's the second time he's basically sombreroed it or missed it in clutch moments. But it looks like that Asadero is just getting run down by the set now.
Comes through. Paranoia. Here comes Lexus looking for the bit of damage.
His dual stride breakers.
Put this one down. That's wraps for him.
Just leaving up, making sure he can never move. And that's what's happening right there. And then with Asadero being down for the next 50 seconds, like there's all the priority and playmaking potentials on the side of the death cards. And this is turning out not only to be a great game, but a long game. So you gotta take into effect, like, how is mental going to be going into the second game after playing such a long, drawn-out, and close game? Even with Dragon Soul, Redacted aren't giving up here.
And Asadero, I feel, has been a big factor for Redacted so far. Just his ability to split the map. As I say that, Starry goes on in, looking for a fight in this back line. Mr. America jumping on out, but gets caught by the arrow. Lexus still putting some damage out. The Dust Blades are big. Charm doesn't quite connect, and Starry still walking through all of this. Flashes again to put the true damage out onto Illuminous. He's low, though. The health bars are low across the board. Asadero back alive. Still no teleport for this Darius. Anywhere he goes is going to be the long way.
Yeah, and this is the difficult part about running a split lane push comp or split lane push champion with a hull breaker, right? Like, you're now at the point in the game where it's just not viable anymore because you aren't able to answer anything that happens on the cross map, especially since Ari has TP. Now is your only chance to do something because that TP is on cooldown. But you haven't won any 1v1 or side lane objective in a while.
Man, double ultimates come out there. Starry gonna easily win that particular trade. Good work from Zeranos on that one, but now Baron is burning. Paranoia once again comes through, and the smite does come through. It's Lexus who steals it away. It's now Baron on the death cards. He gets shut down, and Mr. America into the passive is not able to survive. It's Baron on all four members. Lexus does fall, gets it stripped away. That's a big swing, Dobby.
Yeah, not only were they able to do that, Starry was able to win that 1v1. So, real clutch on Lexus getting that kill and stealing that Baron.
Oh! Luminous Zanya's arrow hits Show Me, and that just opens everything up for the death cards to start walking it down. Asadero still 10 seconds out. Still 4 members with Baron. They have the minion wave. This should just be the end of things. Asadero can't do it fast enough. Game 1, it's the death cards.
Yeah, they're managing to close it out in 40 minutes. Really good from them. Able to just solidify that victory. A couple of misplays, but what went really well was the fact that they Starry saved their game on that Baron play, and then Lexus coming in clutch with that paranoia smite steal at the end of the game. And then the fact that Starry had won that 1v1 at the end, he was able to march in that mid lane, set up that wave with Baron push, and just allowed everyone to march right through.
Well,
And then from there, it was just
1v1.
what. Okay, look, the fact that Zeranos landed that ultimate in itself is pretty clutch. And it is pretty clutch for him. But looking at the post game breakdown, relatively close game all the way through 21 minutes, and then things took a turn for the worst.
I mean, honestly, it's a really close game throughout the entire thing. You can see multiple points where Redacted starts to bring things back for themselves. And it's just this constant roller coaster back and forth from both teams. And you are mentioning, you have to start thinking about how these long games weigh on the mentals of the teams as they go forward after losing one. But looking at this graph, I honestly don't feel like Redacted should feel terrible going into game number 2. They put up a hell of a fight, and they just need to clean a few things up to really start taking these home.
For me, I think that's what's gonna weigh most on them mentally is the fact that they were able to keep pushing back, but like, and even when they were able to claw all the way back to 30 minutes to less than 2,000 gold differential, even with that soul being secured, and then they just couldn't actually close it out. They weren't making proactive plays. They at that point they were just reacting to whatever death cards wanted to do, and it was just not the right play. I think going into draft they're gonna have to focus on new things. They counterpicked themselves in ways on blue side draft, uh on a lot of ways, and they just weren't able to utilize the what their composition wanted to do effectively. I think, yes, while Darius needs that ghost, he should have taken TP if you're going to be a split push threat. Mr. Mackey did nothing wrong. You're great. The fact that they went Ari into an Oriana, I think that was bad. Syndra was up, should immediately go for the counter. You get those splinters, you're going to do really well. You're going to synergize, you're going to execute going into it. Caitlyn did very well. But that Morgana did not synergize as well as it should have been. You're only black shielded 3 in Crusaders the entire time. You were just showing out bindings, and you left your AD carry to die like 3 times. Like I think if you want to play roaming support, play roaming support, and then make sure that your AD carry is on something safe, who can be down there in the bot lane. But you also have to remember that the opponent team gets a choice in how you play as well, and the death cards did very well. They knew that they had the winning bot lane. They weak-sided Starry, who, while was supposed to be weak-sided due to the bad matchup, but was able to come back, started winning the 1v1s, no problem. Yes, I understand the Crystal Arrow at the end, but still. Like, death cards played very well. Not clean, a lot of mistakes to shore up, but very well. I think they're feeling themselves. Hopefully they're not overconfident going into it so that my prediction can reign true.
There's only one way to find out. But before we get into the next game, we are going to take a short break. Remember, this is games for elimination. These teams are fighting for survival. Give them a quick pause, get your snacks, get your drinks. Be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The fight for survival continues between SDC, the Death Card, and Redacted. Well, Dobby, I think it's just about time to get straight into picks and bans here. Waste no time, mince no words. It all comes down to this for Redacted. They have to win this game if they want to stay in things.
Yeah, it looks like death cards are just going with the same bans they had from game one. But Redacted are apparently have learned their lesson and are not letting that ash through.
Annoying.
Which you would think is weird. They're getting rid of the Oriana too. They're like, wow, these things were such problems for us. We do not want to play against them. But to be fair, I don't think those champions were the problem. You saw a lot of miss ultimates from both of them. Uh, I think it's operator error and not champion issue.
There's certainly an argument to be made for that. But if it makes the operators' jobs easier, perhaps
Yeah,
there's some value to be had here. Still,
they're playing
those
reactionary League
reasons.
of Legends. They're like, wow, this
They
was so
banned
bad
all
last
three of
game.
those. Are they just going to ban the entire team composition from the last game?
They're like,
If the Death Guards let them?
this was so bad for us last game. Let's just get rid of all three of them. Like, you left open the Cassante, which is by far like the best top laner in the current meta. So
That's
like it
top
doesn't
lane.
matter what you pick into it now. Like death cards have already won draft. It doesn't matter. So
Best
redacted are
full
gonna have to
champ of
find
the current meta feels like.
yeah. So they're gonna have to go something with Shred. So either the Gwen, Fiora, maybe wow, we were just running with Caitlyn still. Please, for the love of God, don't do it.
They're doing it. It's locked in. You can't stop them, Dobby. They've
All right.
decided.
Someone, the coach at Redacted, decided
like you
he
said.
wanted to end the season early.
It's like you said, it wasn't champ problems, it was operator error. So they've decided to simply operate the champions better this time.
I, for the love of God, hope so. I would like to see a 3-game streak, but like look, the champions that Redacted banned out last time are being picked by death cards this time.
Yeah.
They're deciding to opt in for the Morgana. They're opting to
It's all a bait.
Redacted has red side, and they are the ones getting counter picked here. So this is looking really rough for the draft. Death cards were able to get the priority picks from the draft that were banned out in game one. Ziggs, a relatively safe bot laner, can be flexed in the mid. Karma is Morgana's biggest matchup. Gwen, a good answer into Cassante, but Cassante is just gonna run right through it very well. If Redacted has a chance, they're gonna have to just go through top lane again, and hopefully they stay going through top lane instead of trying to force things on the other side of the map where it just wasn't successful to them in game one. And if I am on the side of Redacted, I mean they have martial arts now instead of Luminous, but I would be running a little bit scared because Mr. America wasn't doing a lot of top side things besides one gank, and then just was not as impactful outside of face tanking damage.
How valuable is it though to gank this Cassante who can so easily just force it into a 1v1, just kick someone through a wall and say, no, 2v1s? We don't do that here. Like, is it valuable still to try to gank him and put him behind that way?
No, because even the Gwen's miss, right? Like, you're still gonna get inside. You're in that melee matchup. It doesn't matter if the miss is on the ground. You're still gonna get pulled away. Like, it's just not looking very well for them. But death cards are respecting America's Zach and banning it away, making sure that there's no like that annoying front line, which is really good because you want to keep Zig safe and allow them to do damage from a distance. Zach and Jarvan can both easily get into that back line, no problem. Opting in for the Ari here, I don't understand why Redacted are letting their carries get counter picked on red side. You should just go for the jungler, do anything you possibly can to get what a Gwen high, so an early game jungler, any early game jungler would do. It doesn't matter if you get counterpicked. You want to give martial arts the ability to play versus into it. And we're seeing the Zed pickup here. So
Oh,
this is not something I've seen at all this season. So
Jungle Zed.
ja- uh, you just broke my brain because it made me violently angry.
That's what I'm here for, Dobby. Someone's got to do it, if not me.
But yeah,
Oh,
grabbing that Maokai because it's not Jungle Zed. All right, really
for
good.
being
And
named
now
Maokai.
there's no like Maokai is what should have been our forward by Redacted. Now there's not a lot of good early priority junglers left in the game to go for it. Maybe Xin Zhao or Vi, but there's just so many good answers. Yeah,
Hey,
there's
hey,
the
we
Vi.
got one. You got one you
But
wanted.
yeah,
Two you wanted.
uh, yeah, 1 out of or 2 out of 5. Good job. You still failed.
That's like 40%.
But they picked the champion I said don't pick. So it's -20.
It
So they
was
don't.
operator
It's one
error.
out of
This time it's
four.
going to be
It's 1 out of
better.
4. The Caitlyn was operator error. The Morgana was just pressing Q on like their finger was on the keyboard constantly,
Hey, that feels like an operator error kind of thing, doesn't it?
or a broken keyboard.
Or a broken keyboard. Maybe they've switched out the keyboards this time around. It's going to go a little bit better for them.
I have no
Either
faith.
way,
I have no
let's
faith.
let's look at this a little bit here, right? We
All
got
right,
got
let's
two
break it down.
drafts. I'm not gonna break it down. I'm gonna make you break it down. I'm gonna give you the hard work that you
Okay.
already don't want to do.
I want to be a caster next split, so
So my eyes
I
go to this Gwen, right? That's
yeah.
where I'm focused in on for the side of Redacted. You've touched on it. This feels like really the play point for Redacted, being able to handle Cassante and Maokai both.
Yeah.
So how much pressure does this Vi need to give? How much
The Vi
fighting?
needs to give all the pressure, and
All
I
the
think Vi
pressure.
is a great pick here, just because she's able with Vault Breaker to destroy armor, which Cassante uses to gain damage. Gwen with the snip snip, and I really don't remember her ultimate, but the needles are able
The
to just
needles, yeah,
like
call it that.
needlework, I think, and just able to like go straight forward, able to shred down the Cassante, unable to do anything. I
Call
think
it
those are
Irelia
good.
ult.
Yeah, but the biggest issue is that like you said earlier, he can make any 2v2 into a one or any 2v1 into a 1v1, especially underneath his tower. And you saw Starry able to do the same things more or less with the face breaker on set. So it kind of makes you a little worried that like Cassante is just better set.
Right. I mean, he basically is.
Yeah.
Basically better every top laner right now. It's so hard to look at this top lane matchup and say, yeah, Asadero can be fine here. This is fine for him. This is just such a strong champion in general right now. Like, what do you do? How do you mitigate that? Do you just not focus it at all? Can they take a path where they just focus entirely on their bot side
They
and
can't.
just no?
Yeah, they can't. They can't focus on their bot side because they were getting like pushed in by a karma all game by themselves. Like Pierce Blade was 1v tuning that lane while around us just hit minions. It was unbearable for the side of Redacted. Hopefully, the leadership of martial arts coming in instead of having Luminous on the mid lane, probably showing his sub what Ari's supposed to look like in this game. Just to send a little statement out. But the shoulders are on him to lead this team to victory because it just wasn't looking all that well coordinated. And every positive play they had was actually just a misplay on death cards that got exposed.
Yeah, it is a tough situation for them to be in right now.
Yeah,
But they
but
do
it's
have. They've surely got some bright spots here, right?
yeah.
Right.
The Vi and the Gwen. Those are the
Divine
two
Gwen.
champions that are going to do very well. The Vi, like we were talking about, the Vault Breaker is going to do well to shred that armor. She has the potential to get on top of the team there, and there are just like options for her to do things. The Gwen does have that shred. and can do the true damage that Cassante does get eaten alive by, but there's not a lot of other full in dive potential besides the RA5 all in. And if you're getting onto the Ziggs, you're going to be there alone because the Maokai and Cassante are going to be on your back line doing everything they can, and the Zed is able to get back there as well. And Morgana's shield does not stop Zed ultimate or the mark or anything like that. And Ziggs, even if he's caught, can still like have a split second push to hit that R and do tons of damage. Way more than that Ashe was able to do in game one.
So, is there a world where instead of this Gwenvi focusing on Starry, they try to focus on Lexus instead? They try to make some invade plays, maybe try to roam across the map and try to find their success that way?
Well, I mean, it is possible, but Cassante is going to have the push. Zed is really good in the Ari and is able to hit last hit minions very well. Vi's going to have to play around the mid lane in order to set anything up, but like Zed is just a really good champion into Ari. So there's going to be a lot of difficulty in there for them. But maybe the runes will have something that we can't see now and see how those matchups are actually going to go.
I mean, I feel like you've had some pretty decent insight in how they're going to go already here. Grasp of the Undying and Conqueror. You know, on one hand, normally be like, okay, you know, Grasp going for those short burst trades. Conqueror looking for the extended fight. Should favor the Gwen, but
and it's more or less
Cassante.
Yeah,
Cassante.
like Cassante could grab Aftershock here and still be useful. But the Aftershock on Maokai, really good. Getting that font of life, wanting to just stay alive with that unflinching, and getting that extra tenacity as well. But the Vi absolutely going for that damage and armor shred, grabbing that hail of blades, will do very well for her. And I think that's what you need to do versus this tankier composition, especially because Cassante and Maokai are going to be in your face the entire time.
Yeah, they're going to be in your face, and they're going to be on your face, and they're going to be in your backline's face, and all you can really do is try to shred those prots down as fast as possible. Tough matchup here, I'd say, for Redacted. They've got themselves a difficult draft to play into. Hopefully this Vi try to make up for some of that. Maybe this Halo Blaze will get an early game push going in their favor. Down here in the mid lane, Zed and Ari touched on this. It's in Zed's favor, right? He's just AD assassin, can kill these mages very easily, very mobile, lasts hits extremely quickly, and with the first strike as well, can be doing bonus damage, getting bonus gold.
Yeah. I really like it as well. He's going full cooldown, get as much damage as possible. Based off of how long last game went, I would have went Gathering Storm instead of Scorch here. But I mean, the option's fine. Ziggs going for that poke-oriented build. Gathering Storm, thank you. And Caitlyn's just looking to survive the lane. The same room path last game. Didn't work for her. Then I think you should be going for the lethal tempo so you can outrange the Ziggs in this matchup. But obviously, just wanting that heal from Fleet Footwork does help. Because I mean, even with Fleet Footwork last game, she still died under tower to poke. So pretty rough matchup there.
Final one here. I mean, this is just the same. This is just the run back, the salty run back, if you will.
Salty run back. But the double poke bot lane and the zero sustain versus like the minimal sustain bot lane, it looks like it's going to be really difficult for any 2v2 on the bot side. So you're going to have to see the Vi come down and do what you can. And that also means that Lexus on Maokai will have to answer. I think Maokai with the setup is going to be able to just like win the 3v3 if it would ever come to that, just because Ziggs is going to do so much damage.
Well, really is only one way to find out which of these teams are going to succeed. You've laid the groundwork for us. Now it's time for them to show us how it's done and see exactly how they break things down right after the break. Ladies and gentlemen, this could just be it. It is Redacted's final stand here in Risen Divine Division. Have to win this one if they want to continue forward. Basic 5-point start. Still Spooky and Dobby here. Dobby, we talked about the drafts, and we talked very briefly about the mentals of these teams going forward here. Alrighty, it looks like there's not too much fear in the eyes of Redacted. It is a bit more of a cautious start this time around.
Yeah.
But I think that's to be expected here in the game number 2.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Like they're just playing really safe. They don't really have any proactivity, which you think they would. Especially because you have the Morgana, get the bind, at least burn a flash or something. Just sitting there 5-point on a do or die game, just doesn't seem like you really want to win or push any type. Like I'm not saying they don't want to win, obviously, but it's more so like you're waiting to lose rather than trying to win.
How many risks is too many risks in the early game, right? Obviously, it's fairly safe for Redacted with the range they have here. Federo be running straight into Starry. Just gonna check the damage out. Maybe looking to get himself an early bit of pressure in this top lane. Question is, how long can that last for?
Well, I mean, right now it looks like Starry is on the back end of that, which is kind of what you're gonna expect versus Osendero's Gwen. It's just really like the champion itself is strong into the matchup, and again, Shumi, why? Just hold on to it. Like now that they know it's not there, they're safe to contest the wave, right? It's just one of those things that differentiates like not like a good Morgana from like a mediocre at best Morgana. But Osadero winning the 1v1 up there, which is really good, able to like chunk damage in him as he came to lane due to that early ward. But on the other sides of the map, like all the trades are being lost through mid and bot.
Marshall taking a little bit of poke damage from the Zed. Zed shred Zed, however you want to phrase that one. Show me. Just eating the poke damage from this bot lane. And it feels really hard to avoid this chip damage, right? I mean, I look at the whole draft from the death cards, and it's very good at dealing that poke damage and just wearing these health bars down over time.
Yeah. But what they're doing better this game is they're farming better. The Zeranos isn't able to attack as fast, has to worry about utilizing his abilities more than his auto attacks the last hit. So this is giving Ooga Booga the ability to stay at least even. I don't think he's going to get ahead because all the poke that's coming out. Like, he started sword 3 pots and he's already down to 1 pot. And he's going to have to use his last one here if he's going to want to stay in the lane. Like, he's just getting constantly poked out. Like,
just so quick to burn through those health potions. He's trying to hang on to it for a moment here, but
yeah,
sooner rather than later, it's going to be used.
Yeah.
It's not a whole lot you can do to stop that, except maybe start trying to dodge some of these a little bit better. But how do you dodge this amount of abilities?
Well, I think you don't, and that's why they're having issues.
Yeah.
Like, any ability that lands is going to proc the Comet from either one of these laners, and they're both throwing out cooldowns constantly. You're having to back right now. Getting that new quiver is going to be good, but the side of the fact that you have to burn... Did they burn Ghost just to get back to lane faster? That's actually, like, kind of smart, but I don't think it was a cannon wave, was it?
I don't think so.
So I like, you're still gonna lose a lot of CS off of it. I don't know if the summoner is gonna be really good, especially because it means that like people are gonna try and go for like any type of weird fight, especially around an early dragon to get ahead.
Have to see how that one pans out. Show me already up here in the mid lane. Misses the binding, and Marshall is going to burn away to the ignite. First blood goes to the Zed. And Shomi's gonna get kill credit thanks to the basic attack. Oh
Really smart
man.
there from Shredman. Able to like just giving it away to Shumi. He hasn't been useful to the gold he's been given. So keeping it away from America, who is arguably the playmaker for that team, just really good.
A small little exchange down here. Pierce Blade has to flash away. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, Asadero out of mana, but still looking for these fights. Both top laners hit 6. This fight split across the map right now for Raptors and top lane superiority both. Starry not get to engage on Asadero there. Good dash.
Osadera does need to be very wary because if he does stay without that mana, Starry just has the win because he's gonna have the grass, he's gonna heal up, and he's got his ultimate. So like as soon as those things come out, he's just gonna do all the damage and the sustain.
Oh, Asadero deciding to stick around here. Very low on the mana. Does have teleport available. It's going to start the recall now. We'll end up losing a couple minions though if he finishes that recall. Yeah, it's
And
tough.
Lexus is here.
The tree is here. Asadero, the target. Starry finds the kill. Lexus does burn the flash to get out of tower. Still, it's a 1 for 0. It's worth it for the death cards.
Yeah, especially that it went on to Cassante. We already know like he's gonna be the most annoying person, the true carry on for it, but really good on Redacted to get the cross map play. But this is like huge in the win for death cards because that cross map play is just a Cloud Dragon. So like is the kill worth that Cloud Dragon? Probably. It is for on the side of death cards. Definitely not for the side of Redacted.
Death cards definitely feeling pretty comfortable with that particular trade there. Toronto's burning ult, likely just trying to get a recall off a little bit faster here.
Yeah.
Asadero now down 1 death. Still even in the CS department though. Not losing out on gold too much. I don't feel like this will slow him down too much. He's still obviously looking for those fights. But it really feels like it's just the easiest thing in the world for Lexus to make a second trip up there and just go in on Asadero again. Both melee characters, Maokai and Cassante, so the mists not doing a whole lot here.
Yeah.
Does Asadero need to be concerned?
I think so, especially with this push up and the objective being Rift Herald. The fact that it's up, you have to be concerned with a lot of players coming up there. And Osadero's all out is already almost back up, so it is going to be difficult.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough little exchange here, but still, Herald has been looked at, but not started just yet. Both teams gravitated that way. Asadero actually looking for a fight. Not going to be able to find the kill, though. Martial Arts is the target here, but they're going to turn it around. Shredman getting burned, but he quickly goes into the ult. It's not enough to save his life, but it does put a small bit of damage back out. Death cards. Got to take a step back after that one. Ooga Booga down the bot lane, looking to try to turn things around here. Flash over the wall. Ward comes down. Ace in the hole is enough. Ooga Booga. LOL finds the kill. Give him a little boo from over the wall there.
Flash over it to secure it because I don't think he had enough damage with the ace in the hole. Got that last auto attack off. Honestly, if Zoranos was able to use that explosive charging and create that distance, probably would have gotten away. He shouldn't be that far bot side with Ooga Booga having the ghost. It just seems like a little bit of a misplay to give away the one champion that will cause a problem with her damage later. But overall, like, the fact that Redacted is back into this, they aren't giving up, they're playing strong, they're making plays, they're way more proactive than they were last game. Definitely not wanting to go home, at least with their playmaking potential here. And I haven't seen Shumi miss any Qs, but that's also because he hasn't been in position to throw any, so I think making him roam a lot make sure that like the matchups are very good, and he's not like being stuck in a losing lane.
Let's take a look at the map here, though, because you can see some deep wards in the jungle of Redacted right now. Death cards trying to get that vision down, keeping eyes on where this team is rotating to. So far, I haven't been too successful in things. It's a small lead for Redacted right now. But this vision should allow the death cards to play around things a lot more effectively. 9 on the top side.
They got to be
Starry
very careful
is the
about
target. I'm going to go ahead and drop the Herald. America. The charge. Flash is good to avoid the damage, but the charm comes through. All out. Goes all out back into the tower. Starry still alive. What a play from the top laner.
Starry was star walking in that play. Like, good job on the Cassante, able to use the all out to negate all of that damage. The unstoppable, really good. And the fact that they were able to burn 3 ultimates as a dragon spawns in a minute makes me feel like a lot of this priority and pressure that they were having is now gone. They're not going to be able to secure the objective, and it's just there's just these things, these small things that make big plays later on. And Starry absorbing all that pressure, coming out scot-free and with most of his health intact. Really good.
I mean, Starry's been a playmaker through this set so far. We've seen a couple big plays from him in game 1. Now following up with a big play in game 2 here, trying to set his team up for success. And that success comes through onto Show Me as the target. Stopwatch comes through, but so does the Nature's Wrath. The grasp is good, and Shredman finds the kill. Now they're turning that all around. It's a double kill for the Shredman. Can maybe turn a 3rd kill in. Charm is good, but not good enough. Pierce Blade picks up that kill. Starry now in some trouble. Dashes forward. Still alive. That makes it a 3-for-0 across the map in favor of the death cards.
You know, the one time Shimmy should throw a blind, the one time it should have been a blind, it should have been right there. Like, I don't have vision on this bush. Let me throw out my Q. I've been doing it all game anyway, and then, you know, just get caught. It ended up in the first dragon. Ocean Dragon, really good. The fact that it's Chemtech Soul is a blessing to any team who is unable to get Soul. So, but things are just going very well. But for the side of death cards, Redacted needs to go back to their original plays and like do things around the map. Like, you have a win con top, utilize it, and then just like right now, absolute perfect opportunity.
Utilize it. Unstoppable comes through, and Mr. America finds the kill onto Starry. Cease and desist used to good effect, but like you mentioned, Osadero is the win con. So with both kills beyond Mr. America up here, I don't know if it's doing the work that it needs to do.
Yeah, they need to be able to like juggle damage. That's what makes good teams and team fights work very well. Is like, one, you juggling tower damage and dives, but you also need to be able to juggle damage in team fights, just so that your carries are the ones getting the gold. You don't want to, like, for example, have Shumi have all the kills where Martial Arts Y needs gold. And that's not a dig on Shumi, that's just a dig on supports in general. A support with 8 kills is useless if your mid laner has none.
Now, it's starting to be the trend of the game right now. Shredman, rotation down, the death mark is going to be applied, and like you said, the black shield not protect against the shadows themselves. Shredman takes up a 4th kill for himself, a killing spree now for him.
Yeah, and yeah, the black shield's useless.
That sums it up, doesn't it?
Black shield's bad. It sums it up. But like, he's not playing where the shadow is landing, throwing it wide. The fact that Shredman is now 4-2 as the carry and the assassin, you're gonna have a lot of problems. So hopefully we see some Zonias come out real quick, or release the stopwatch, just so that they can survive another team fight, because he's already at 1 full item, very close to his 2nd, And the fact that his first item is a Hydra already at 40 stacks means he's just
Yeah.
sitting on all of the damage.
You can see Redacted try to make a rotation down, but it's too little, too late. Tower already burns. Death card step back. Gonna be able to reset here, and Redman, now kind of the name of the game. Lots of damage on board. Kills, roaming. I mean, something has to happen to slow this roll. It might be top lane being looked at once again, but 4 people to top side just for Starry? I don't know. Dark Binding doesn't quite connect there. That kind of stops all the aggression on Starry.
Yeah, and
Death cards rotating in.
Yeah, and the fact that Pierce Blade was able to mark out martial arts Ari, making sure that any dive that was going to happen immediately call off the play is dead, and this gives them the priority to make a Rift Herald play, because there's just everything's been pushed off. They lost all the priority. There's no wave control going in mid, and if also Earl decides he wants to fight, he's going to lose because they're just going to turn on him.
Yeah, things are looking tougher and tougher for Redacted right now. Gold is beginning to accelerate in favor of the death cards, and this is a lead that it took a while to show up in game number 1. We're not even 17 minutes into the game just yet. We're already pushing over 2,000 gold in the death card's favor. Not the biggest lead by any means, but probably the biggest in comparison to how early it's been so far in this game. The relativity of the lead is what's
I
important
think that
here.
last game, the Redacted was 2,000 gold up at this time. So the fact that they had trouble closing out with a lead makes you put F in chat, because if they don't have a lead at mid game, are they going to be able to hold on to it going into the later stages of this match?
Tower falls, puts a little bit more gold in their pockets, but here comes the Rift Herald. So that tower is going to be traded out 1 for 1 there. Showing it's a little bit wide with that binding once again here.
Yeah.
It just feels like a very split map right now, right? Yeah. It's death cards are doing some minor grouping.
Yeah.
But the Redacted just feels so separated.
Yeah, I don't think anyone on Redacted was watching our stream when we were giving the analysis up out here. Ooh, but martial arts in America caught out in a pincer.
Very bad. Nature's Grasp comes through. Does find Mr. America. He's got nowhere to go. Cease and desist back towards his team onto Pierce Blade. But Zed, Shredman, finds himself a kill. It's a big chunk of gold in his favor. That opens up this dragon nice and easy. Chemtech goes the way of death cards.
Yeah, really good play. A lot of map awareness. Getting on to
oh my.
Are they gonna finally
really?
play? No. And Ari, all that damage with Everfrost. That is yes, Everfrost Ari with a Gwen, you don't really need to build any excess damage, so it's really good. But you're pairing it with Morgana, who also doesn't do any damage early game. And Karma is opting for tank Karma. I don't know if she's going Radiant. I think she might be going Radiant Karma. Just so far ahead, feeling herself into this game.
And it's paying off right now. Pierce Blade survives when he really, by all means, should not have.
Yeah, you made fun of his battle song last game, so he's like, you know what? Watch this.
Hey, you know what? I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Pierce Blade, at least, might be listening to us, even if no one else is.
Right. And that means things are going good.
Oh, Asadero. Now swapping lanes here. Marshall up in the top lane, gonna get caught out here. Good Everfrost does hit too, but it can only take you so far. Pierce Blade simply runs him down, and the Nature's Grasp keeps him right where he is. You can't get away from those roots.
Yeah.
Just one more kill for the death cards. And
it seems weird not to at least try to burn the flash and survive.
oh my god, what an excellent ult there from Shredman. Cease and desist Not gonna save any lives. Shredman's push one more down.
Yeah, he broke his ankles with that play. Really good job there. I think that constitutes police brutality, but like, what is it when the police are the ones getting brutalized?
There's an answer there, but it feels slightly too politically charged for me to give it on cast. So
Mine's a cop. I'm going in the nature of Runeterra and all the lore there. I am not making any statements whatsoever. I just think like the Foot Clan beat the cop pretty bad.
yeah, we could go with that one. Where's a turtle when you need him? Not
Oh, if they had Remus here. Oh, that'd be so good.
I don't think that counts as a turtle. That's the armadillo.
If he is using the less than legal Bowser skin, it's a turtle.
That's fair. Do we have a turtle champion?
Yeah, it's Ramus.
Ramus with one skin doesn't count as a
Okay,
turtle
Nico
champion.
cosplay. Okay, Nico using Grump.
That doesn't count. The Gromp's a
Yeah,
frog.
okay, look, if that totally counts. That is
Grump
a
is
giant.
a frog.
It's the closest thing I can think of.
They're totally different.
They're both
animals.
amphibians.
Yes, one
Right?
has a shell, the other doesn't.
Look, I'm
This
gonna
guy.
dig my heels in because I know I'm wrong, but I refuse to let you be right.
I can respect that energy. I'll let you have that one. Actually, that's valid. I can't win against that.
But Pierce Blade knocking out Ooga Booga's back there. Shumi, that's what you're supposed to do with those abilities. Let's keep it up. Let's do this thing well. It's looking really hard. 4K, well, 3.5K. No real objective coming up for another minute. They're just playing safe League of Legends now, not trying to over push their lead. And you see, because they are behind, that Redacted are just like safe to farm. They want to get those power spikes that let them get their way back into this game. But Death Cards, 2 items complete on most of their champions. And Show Me looking to try and make a play with getting at Zonia's first, but you're just not.
It feels kind of needed though to have that Zanya's, just because of how much Shredman is doing. Like, what can you do against this Zed without the Zanyas? You pretty much just die every time, right?
What is the support gonna do against the Zed with the Zanyas?
Maybe get Soul Shackles off? Hopefully?
Yeah, but there's so much. There's just so much like ability to just get out of him. Like, Shred's got his clone, Shadow Clone. Zeranos has the explosive charge. Pierce Blade is able to Mantra Effect speed away. Starry has his dashes. It just doesn't seem like a great way to secure CC. But we'll see if it pays off in a team fight. Baron's up. We might see something around there. Dragon is being solo taken down there by Shredman, while Starry literally just is annoying topside. Look at that.
Bomb
One Inferno
comes
Bomb,
through.
half health. Half health Ari.
It's like 40%, alright? It's got like 60% left, hopefully. I don't know, I'm bad at math and percentages. Either way, the fact that Death Cards can have Shredman solo the dragon and have Lexus up by the Baron is so massive. Like, this is so bad right now for Redacted because there's no play potential for them. Lexus is there, so they can't make a Baron play because the smite's available. And they don't even know Shredman's on that dragon. Asadero pushing forward and subsequently being pushed back here. And the hole is going to be expended and do negative amounts of damage to Starry. Like,
I think it actually healed him.
I think so.
It's really weird. If there were ever a time to make a cheeky play, this would have been it. Because Starry was on the back footer with the no TP. They didn't. There's not a lot of vision control there for the side of Death Cards, and with a Kraken, Kate, and Gwen just being able to snip through, you have the ability to shred through it. You have to make that desperation play, or like I was saying at the beginning of the game, you're just waiting to lose.
Redacted have not really found a whole lot of success here so far. They found a couple kills, but map pressure and momentum is all in favor of death cards. Now that's going to get a little bit worse for them. Shredman shredding some health bars, true to the name, finds himself a double kill off the back of an ultimate from Lexus. That is a mid tower gone.
I'm not
Mr.
saying
America.
any other item would have been useful there, but the spending all of your gold on the Zonias just to delay your death by 2.5 seconds doesn't seem like a worthwhile buy.
Well, it's going to be leading to a little bit more gold for the death cards. They take the entirety of the mid lane here. Asadero, for his part, just tries to answer in bot lane, but he just pushes too slowly here. He's not able to really get those minions up, and by the time he's there, Starry is back to answer him. Redacted right now feel like they're choking, slowly but surely. And they have to find a way to get some breath in. They have to get their heads above water in order to stabilize here. Otherwise, they are going to drown.
Yeah, and it's pretty rough for them so far. There's just... The only answer they have is Osadero. He is farming very well. He's got tons of damage. He's working on his third item.
Uh-oh. Well, Marshall tries to make the rotation to help out, and Osadero does find the first kill, but Shredman does also return it back. Not enough damage from Osadero to stay alive. Gustavo comes through, cease and desist. Finally, a shutdown. 1,001 gold goes the way of Mr. America as they put Shredman in the shred bin himself. Still not enough to stabilize.
Would have been super useful on martial arts. Like, Ari is so far behind the power curve. The fact that there's 3 items on Zed and only 1 on Ari, that 1,000 gold would have been so useful. But
yeah,
just some misplays with the way that ultimate was used, and the flash just seemed to be a little good. And Shredman played it very well themselves, able to bait away another flash, get another ultimate, but America coming in clutch, getting that shutdown, doing what he can to keep his team in it. Like I said before, you're amazing, do great things.
Very slow Baron attempt, more of just a heat check. Death Guard decided to throw a brick through the window. Didn't like the answer they got, so they're going to go ahead and pull back from that one.
If you've ever played any MMO, you do damage checks sometimes before big boss fights, and you just test the waters to see how it goes on a mini boss. And that looks like what they're doing here. They know they got a little bit more work to go, and they'll probably need the Zed in order to actually like take that Baron, that big old purple worm down.
The rate they were going, if Redacted hadn't been on that side of the map, probably could have had it. Smart on them to pull back, flash forward, twisted advance. The Nature's Grasp comes through so many. Marshall's still alive, but cancel that, because Shredman is not having any of that nonsense. The death mark is Mark himself. He goes down. Booga Booga with the kill. Now rooted down is Lex, but big burst of damage. Zeranos turns things around. Asadero on the retreat, tries to find a way out of this one, but he's being run down, chased by the stars themselves. Starry is here for the revenge. This one should just be wrapped for Asadero. While the rest of the team goes down, that Chemtech, good blast seed. Might be enough to get Asadero out, but he's still being chased down. He's only on the way. He's alive. He's got it.
Yeah. Well, Starry's taking Asadero out for a walk. Lexus and Zeranos are down here securing Dragon Soul really well from them. Getting that kill onto Mr. America makes this possible. So now they have to deal with a 3-stack Chemtech Dragon, which is going to be very rough because they're going to get that damage resist. And that's just going to be really clutch the lower they get. And Starry is going to be low a lot of times when he pops that all out. So just being able to take reduced damage, deal increased damage.
Darrow may have bitten off more than he can chew with the team right here. Puts out a lot of good damage. It does find the shutdown, but at what cost? It might just be too much. Pierce Blade with a double kill. It doesn't
Seriously.
go to Shredman, but I think
Yeah,
anything
Shredman's
can
got
hand
enough
over at
gold.
this point.
Shredman's
Not
are
so
almost on a
great.
sports item.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just share it with the support. Let the support do its thing. Uh Zeranos is just like, guys, I'm so ready for you. Just carry my body across the finish line and let's do this. Uh, but with those two champions dead, they can get Baron control. They're setting up Vision, doing what they need to, maybe getting another pick off because Shredman is also so far ahead and going for that Baron. Yeah, they got the
Shredman's
smite.
just waiting to kill someone here. Playing forward, looking for an opportunity to just put the death mark down. It's back up, make no mistake. He is more than happy to just go all in, take a priority target out.
Yeah.
Mr. America take a long way around here, but this Baron's just gonna get shredded. They're not even interested in contesting this one.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be all she wrote. Getting that Baron right after the Dragon Soul. They all they had to do at this point is just walk it down the lane and finish it off. It looks like a quick 2-0. Everyone but Bonfire, congratulations. But this is a pretty one-sided game series, in fact.
May still be some fight back from Redacted. We saw them fall back a couple times in game one. And we did also see a couple of misplays from the death cards in game number one as well. We'll have to see if they maintain this discipline or perhaps Redacted can make a hero play. Death
It
cards
looks
their
like they're just
part, splitting the
overloading
map.
top side.
Go ahead and push up top side. Meanwhile, down in the bot lane, there's two down here. Might be too many here. Sorry, lockdown has nowhere to go. All out does get him back under the tower. Mr. America didn't know what he wanted to do there, and now martial arts in a terrible spot does find the Zanyas, but isn't enough to keep him alive. It's not. The death mark still goes off, and the teleport comes back. Asadero on the defense, but now your team is in tatters. One more fall, and Asadero must now try to make the solo defense. America comes back, but the health bars are getting shredded. Zanyas keeps Asadero alive for just a moment longer, but it's just to watch his tower fall. It's an explosion, and with that explosion, Redacted is annihilated from the playoffs. Death cards secure themselves, their lives, and continue their run.
Yeah, looks like they're really good, guaranteed at least third place now. Still have to continue on through the losers bracket, but let's talk about how balanced Casante is there at the end. Like that is just everything that makes everyone angry.
Pinnacle of champion design and balance. My personal favorite.
Yeah,
No.
that's exactly what that was.
You're gonna get
That
me
was
started on a tangent. We don't want that.
that was so much fun. But like champion broken or not, it he did have a lot of good plays in that game.
Very.
But looking at the post game breakdown, like everything was relatively even. And then at 15 minutes, it started to break away. What's a little interesting about this is like the inverse of the first game post game breakdown, except almost the exact same graph, just on the red side because that was the side that Death Cards was on.
Yeah,
Uh,
this one it feels a lot more in favor of the death cards this time around. You see a couple little slopes there, but nothing quite like what we saw in game number one. Game shorter by almost seven, actually by 7 full minutes. Just looking at the damage numbers, you can kind of see the story of how this game went down.
Yeah, Osadero did everything in his power to win the game, but I I think he did more damage as his entire team combined. So pretty rough from him. He's probably feeling it. Probably not feeling so good after a 2-0 loss or 0-2 loss. Especially because it was just like it wasn't good. I they counterpicked themselves. They're on red side and they didn't get any counter picks. It was really weird to see. But we talked about the Gwen being really good. We really like seeing that. The Vi, while being a proactive early game champion, wasn't being proactive enough. Wasn't really answering the slow clears of the Maokai. Wasn't able to utilize the armor shred of your abilities to make sure that you can take down Cassante relatively easy. So it just looked really bad. And then like I don't know what's going on today. Maybe it's just like they weren't having a good time, but the bot lane of Redacted is not looking at all the way they did throughout the season.
Could be nerves, could be an off day. Always feels a little bit different when you're playing for your life, the playoff runs. And unfortunately, this time around, Redacted did not have that what it took to stick around. Death cards able to take that one and keep themselves going, looking to make a redemption arc for themselves as the top seed after dropping their first playoff game. But that does it for us here tonight. This has been Risen Divine Division playoffs. We'll have plenty more in the coming week here. Congratulations to Death Cards and consolations to Redacted. We hope to see them again. Their run ends here tonight. But if you're a fan of the Death Cards and you want to keep seeing them move on through this bracket, make sure you're following Risen on Twitter. Make sure you're in the Discord. Don't want to miss any games, any updates. It's been Spooky and Dobby on the cast. It's been Caddy. Run that production for us as always. Thank you. And the audience, thank you for joining us. Have a fantastic night.